Good morning, everybody. This Sunday, the 29th of November, is Advent Sunday, which is the first Sunday in the church's year. There is a piece of music which is set as an Advent hymn called Wachet auf, Wake Up, and it was originally written in 1598 by a preacher called Philip Nicolai. He wrote it at a time of plague in the local town, so it seems appropriate to have it at the start of this Advent season. So if you want to play that, you'll find it online. I think the most common version, most popular version, is actually the version by Bach, but there are many versions. The theme of the hymn and the theme of the first Sunday in Advent is one of being aware, being alert, getting ready, being expectant. But what for? The readings tell us there are two things. The first is to be aware, alert to the signs of the end times, the signs pointing to the end of the world, what is usually called an apocalyptic text. The second is to prepare ourselves for the coming of Jesus, with a warning that we don't know when that time or date might be. Now, the first is not a cheerful message. At this time of year, we don't expect to hear a message of doom and gloom. People want to hear cheerful carols, walking in winter wonderland, Santa Claus is coming to town, etc. Not in those days after that suffering, the sun will be darkened and the moon will give its light and the stars will be falling from heaven and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Let's face it, it's not going to be a popular message. Unless we read right to the end of the passage from Mark 13 that we're looking at today, where we're promised that heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. And that is the point of it. This is why we celebrate Advent and Christmas and Easter and all the points of the Christian calendar. We recognize that all other things on earth are transitory: jobs, wealth, health, friendships. And yet, among all this, God is permanent. He will not go away. He will not abandon us. This is part of that great pearl of wisdom of our Christian faith. God is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. When the earth shakes beneath our feet, when all seems to be turning to dust, God is still there. If only we have the wisdom to perceive him. If only we expect to find him. Now, you do sometimes come across hidden treasures by accident, but you are usually looking for something, even if you're not sure what that something is. Amidst the chaos of this time of year, and particularly this year, we hear a promise that transcends the cultural focus of our time. When we start to understand, even in part, the truth that God is constant, God is alert and open to our call, then we start to be more alert to his. The things of this earth seem a little more transitory, and this is wisdom. We are called to be on the alert, to expect, to live as though Jesus could walk around the corner any minute, to look for the miracles, to expect that God will move and act and shake this world. Just as someone leaves home and places someone on guard, so we are also to be on the alert and keep watch for Jesus' return. We're called to have our internal housework done, to make sure everything that should be dealt with has been dealt with. The reading from Mark 13 today tells us 3 times to keep alert or keep awake. We know as a community of faith that Jesus has come, is present, and will come again. It's what we testify to in our statement of faith. Jesus came not just as a child in Bethlehem, but as a human being who walked on this earth, who lived and laughed and loved, who was condemned for sins he did not commit and died on the cross, who rose again from the dead that we ourselves might fully live. The events of Jesus' birth and death are inseparable. We cannot have one without the other. This is the story of God's salvation in Jesus Christ. This is the Advent message for our time. This is wisdom. No one knows when the end time will come, not even Jesus knew. On the positive side, Jesus does tell us how we should prepare for the last day, in fact, prepare for every day. And we do this by keeping awake. The only way we can be ready for the coming of Jesus is to do the tasks assigned for us with faithfulness. Stay alert to the whispers of God. Expect the unexpected in the breeze. Focus on here and now. Keeping awake is the hope and wisdom of the Advent season. Amen.